Hi, Laura. Hi,
Hello.
Tegan.
Aloha.
Hello. Hey, so we're recording. I'm super excited. Today is Tuesday, November 19th. Where is this month going? I cannot even believe it. And I'm so excited that you ladies are here this evening, and we're going to talk about the 3-day refresh amongst and maybe a few other little items too. So I need to know from both Gail and Kim, have you guys done the 3-day refresh before?
I have, yeah.
You have. Kim, have you?
I did just in September.
Okay. All right. So there may be some people that are not familiar with it. And so, please feel free to chime in because we're going to go through it. I was just helping a gal get started about a week and a half ago. And it was very interesting because she was so overwhelmed. She was looking at the book by herself. She was just going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I said, well, let's just go through this because each day is going to be exactly the same thing. It's just kind of a repeat. So if you guys don't mind, and then and please feel free to interrupt at any point. I've got some ideas for advice. I've got some things that have worked really well. Maybe you guys have found some things that have worked really well as well too, or there were things that maybe that you even have questions on that as we talk about it. So anyway, so the layout of this 3-day refresh is super, super simple. And it's, like I said, it's the same layout every day. And so you get up in the morning and you just follow this little book, and upon waking up, you're going to drink 8 to 10 ounces of water. It's super important, and that's going to help get your system going, start revving up your metabolism for the day. And then for breakfast, you're going to have your Shakeology. Now, we usually put peanut butter in our Shakeology, but for the refresh, we don't, because I want to be able to save the healthy fats that I can have for my afternoon snack later on. So we just do Shakeology and ice and water and some fruit. So I don't know what kind of fruit you guys use, but we use blueberries. So, and the great thing about this is I don't have this page filled in, but you can make notes. And so what I've done is I've gone through, and kind of bottom line for me, for us anyway, is that we pretty much do the same thing. The only thing that we really change up that much is just at dinner time. So, that makes it much easier for shopping, so if we use blueberries or banana. So whatever floats your boat. And then about an hour after you've had your breakfast, then you can have some tea, and that's optional. You don't have to have it if you don't want to. First time I did it, I didn't have the tea, but I realized that I was kind of missing something a little bit sweeter, like, peach passion or, something. And so that really helped fill the gap, or like cranberry and apple tea or something like that. So, and you can, excuse me, like I said, you don't have to have it if you don't want to. Then comes my favorite part. It's fiber sweep.
The fiber sweep.
The fiber sweep. And the first time I tried this, I didn't add enough water to it. And so it became this kind of coagulated wallpaper paste.
And then you tried to drink it.
Yeah, and then I tried to drink it. It said don't let it sit because it'll coagulate. So it was going to coagulate even more. So the taste doesn't bother me. The flavor doesn't bother me. It's kind of a lemony, whatever. But I just add a little bit more water to it, and that really helps. So for those of you who are watching this record back who have never done this before, this is not the type of thing where you drink it and then in 10 minutes you're like racing to the bathroom as if you were getting ready for a colonoscopy and you're drinking the berry. So it's not like...
I actually really like fiber sweep. I think it's
more like Metamucil, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
And if you add enough water, honestly, I find it kind of refreshing.
Because it is kind of lemony.
I've I've heard other people say that they have trouble. Like I've heard some of our other coaches say that when they've tried it, when they first tried it. Hey, Brenda.
Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Okay.
I've heard people say that when they tried it the first time that they kind of gagged on it. So, I mean, I don't have that problem.
Right.
Me either.
Brenda, how do you, we're talking about the 3-day refresh, and we've gotten to the point of the day where you're drinking your Fiber Fresh or Fiber Sweep. So when you did it, did you like it, not like it, didn't bother you?
That's the one. Did you have me add something to that?
Whoa. Hey, why don't you guys all mute, except for you, Brenda, and me. And you can unmute when you want to say something.
How do you do that?
Click on your screen and there's a
Down at the
mute button bottom left.
Very good. So Brenda, yes, and I'm trying to think of what, I think, did I just,
nutmeg?
oh
Was
no,
that
that
the-
was in the Vanilla Fresh. We haven't gotten to that point yet. This is what you drink in the morning and you just mix with water and it gets kind of thick. And it's just,
No, I added something to it. I thought you told me to put something in it.
oh, maybe I did, but like, no,
Anyway, that's the only way I could get it down because I
Okay.
think it's disgusting. But I get it down every morning.
that's a good thing because that's what we want. We want to start
I just-
sweeping.
I just pretend on the Fiber Fresh, but I do a little something and it's good.
Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was I told you to put in. I wonder, did you make a note in your little booklet?
You know what? I did, and I think I put them in the garbage today. Man,
Oh.
can you see if they're in that right side?
Oh, anyway, so anyway, but the thing about the Fiber Fresh is that it starts working on your system, but it's such a gentle sweep, and that's the thing that I think too many people who have tried it for the first time, or maybe they skipped it. I know I've some people that skipped it. Oh, I don't do that kind of stuff, but it's all a part of this program. So anyway, yeah, but the key though is to drink it down as quickly as possible and not to let it sit because it does get even more wallpaper pasty. So then for lunch, you get to have the Vanilla Fresh shake. And Rodney asked me at one point, he said, well, why don't you just drink Shakeology? And I said, well, because then we're not following the program. So, but I looked at it and it's very high in protein because as you know, you're not getting, there's no meat, there's no dairy, there's nothing on this. And so you've got to have some protein. And so I think it's got, if I remember right, it's got like 17 grams of protein in it. So what I like to do with it, you can mix it a couple different ways. You can just throw it in your shaker cup like this with some water. Or what I like to do is I like to throw it in the blender. And then because you can have a serving of fruit from, with it for that. So what I like to do is I usually use a banana with it, but I also put cinnamon in it. And it was one of the other coaches, I don't know, 4 years ago, whatever, she said that she added cinnamon to it. I thought, well, I'll try that. And I really liked it. So, I mean, it changed the flavor of it. I don't mind, the way the Vanilla Fresh tastes, but it's just nice to have something else to go along with it. So, and then you also get to have one serving from the vegetable list. And I'm sure all of you guys know because you've done this, but for those of you who this is going to be your first time doing it, in the back, it gives suggestions and it gives rations or measurements of how, if it says one piece of fruit, what that really means. If you have if you were to have an apple, that means that you can have half a medium apple. Or if you had a banana, then that's half a medium banana. So that's really important. This will become a really good guide for you. So you have that for lunch, which is yummy, onolicious. And then you get to have one healthy serving from the fats list. Now, what I like to do with this is because especially when I was working outside the home, if I did it, I would cut up my raw veggies and I would put them in a little container, and my healthy fat was I drizzled some olive oil, whatever the amount was, I can't remember. Drizzle that over it and then put some salt and pepper on it and just take it to work that way and then zap it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. And then that, moves the oil around and it heats up the vegetables and everything. So you're getting some warm food and you're also getting some cold food, with your shake, which I think is really good. Then you get an afternoon snack, and I love crunchy. And so I would have red bell pepper, or I would have some broccoli, and I would mix it with, because you can have another serving of the healthy fat for your afternoon snack. So I would mash up some avocado and put it in a little container and put some pepper on it. Even squeeze a little bit of lemon on it if you want to. And I would use that kind of like a dip. So, and then once again, you can have tea in the afternoon. And then for dinner, you get to have your vanilla fresh again, but with no fruit this time. So I still put it in the blender. I still use it with water and ice, and then put some cinnamon in it. Or, it's time of year, maybe you want to try nutmeg or something, but, and it's great because back in here, there's all kinds of options that they give you, for what they call free, where is it? Not fruit options. There's juice options. Oh, where is it? I had this all labeled earlier, and my little pieces of paper fell out. But anyway, there's, you can use different herbs and spices and whatnot. So, that's good with the vanilla fresh as well too. And so then for the dinners, we did one, they've got like 5 or 6 different dinners that you can choose from. Our favorites that we've used, and we do a different one every night. So by day 3, I'm not so bored that I'm just going, ugh, I need something else, but what we have really liked is the veggie stir fry, which is really good. And that's on one of the pages. And the lemony green beans, those are really good, except Rod hates to have to zest the lemon peel, so he just kind of slices it. And then what's the other one? Let's see, lemony green beans, veggie stir fry, and the coconut steamed veggies. It's really good because you get to use some coconut oil with it, and so it creates a almost like an Asian type of cuisine, I think, to go along with that. Now, it does say in here, which is pretty cool, that for dinner, at dinner time, that you can also include with that 1 cup of organic vegetable broth. And so there have been times where I'll just heat up the vegetable broth and just drink it by itself. But then sometimes I've taken it like with the veggie stir fry and I poured it right into the veggie stir fry. So it's more like a soup, which is kind of good. It should be kind of a fun way to try it. So the sky's the limit with it. But, and then there, of course, there's the evening tea. But I think the thing for me that is most important is that I keep it as simple as possible. And so when I was choosing what dinners to have, there were some of the same vegetables that were showing up in each one of those dinners. So I wasn't having to buy a whole bunch of vegetables, and then for whatever reason they might go to waste or, whatever. So, the vegetable stir fry, we put the same thing in it that we do in the coconut stuff, coconut dinner. And then the broth, I think, is really good. So, and you can still use some salt as long as it's sea salt. You can, use pepper. You can use, there's a whole, it even shows down here, for the dinner, that feel free to use the chopped fresh herbs such as cilantro, parsley, tarragon, and basil. And I'd even taken that and even put it into the vegetable broth to, kind of beef it up a little bit. But so then you turn around, do the same thing 2 more days. And it's really quite simple to do. But in saying that, though, and you guys can unmute if you want to at this point, some things that I learned the first time. I mean, Rod was concerned because of the fact that, so now we're going to buy some of these vegetables that we might not use, but we have been able to do this, and Rod is eating the vegetables right alongside of me. He just doesn't drink the vanilla fresh. And I, we have some protein on hand for him. I mean, have some chicken or turkey or something to go along with that. But don't spend that much money at the store on the food for these 3 days.
Mm-mm.
So, which I think is really good. The other things, kind of the advice, I talked about the cinnamon, talked about using the herbs. And I think one thing that I didn't do the first time was, I was following this verbatim, but I wasn't drinking enough water, just having water. And so I think that's really important that, you keep up with your water, because that water is going to help start flushing stuff out of your system and moving things around. And I know that I didn't, but the other thing too is that when you guys have done this in the past, did you find that if you tried to do a workout that you didn't feel like you had as much energy to do the workout?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So cut back.
Cut
Do
back.
something easy.
Yeah, do something easy. I mean, you can even, you can do, something if you have Beachbody on Demand, pick something that, like Clean Week, but maybe.
They actually have you can do the 3-day refresh from the yoga studio.
Oh, you can?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There's three yoga programs that go right with the refresh.
Huh.
And there's also the 21-day 3-week yoga retreat, which is designed to go hand in hand with the 21-day ultimate reset.
Yeah. So do you guys like doing yoga?
I love yoga.
Not. Kim, do you like
Not so
yoga?
much. She doesn't look like she's so excited.
Not so much. What's working for me now is my church group, because I carpool with a neighbor. I meet my husband there. We've been doing it for 4 years. And when we're on a full schedule, it's 4 days a week. And then like this week, it's not till Saturday, just because of time of year and the teacher's busy. But I like the fact that someone's pulling up to pick me up, whether I want to go or not. And sometimes I think, oh, I hope he cancels. But sure enough, he picks me up. I'm like, I am so grateful that you are driving today. Otherwise, but
That's good.
Well, what about you, Gail?
I like to do it. My problem right now is getting off and on the floor.
Yeah.
It is really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I did it the year before. I started probably the year before I had this last surgery, because I was having sciatica so bad, not knowing it was for my back. And it really did help for a while, help for like a long time,
Mm-hmm.
until I got to the point where it wasn't helping anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda, what about you? Do you ever do yoga?
I got the video.
Okay.
I got the DVD, and it's sitting over there by the DVD player that Sonny bought for me.
Oh, that's good. Well, but whatever you choose to do during these 3 days, just have it be a little bit
Make
more.
it light.
I mean, maybe it's, just going out for a brisk 30-minute walk, or, excuse me.
I still did my church class. It's an hour long, and it just about did me in. It was too much. And being diabetic, I always need to come home and eat.
Uh-huh.
And you eat so little during the refresh thing that it kind of, I felt a little upside down, that I overdid too much.
Yeah.
So this time I'd like
Maybe
to be
you-
more careful
yeah.
with that.
Maybe you should just do, if you do your class, just do like,
Yeah.
modify. That's the word I'm looking for. Just modify everything and do a very light workout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Gail, you brought up something interesting about not being able to get up and down off the floor. Have you ever looked on YouTube and searched for chair yoga?
Yeah, I actually have a DVD for it, and I've done some, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I got because she promoted it, because since I have my knee replacements, I can't get on the floor either. I can't kneel on my knees.
Yeah. Yeah. So light and moderate while you're doing this, and let your body rest. I mean, your body's going through a whole cleansing process. So it's working overtime, doing this particular cleanse. And so you want to be careful. And that's the next thing is that, you want to be sure that you're getting enough sleep too. So, because, I mean,
I'm really good at that.
are you? That's great, Kim. That's good.
I'll look back on my little Fitbit watch and say out of the last 10 days, oh, darn, I had one day I was under 7 hours. It's like, I'm really good at that.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. That's good. So keep it up, especially during, this time. So, I was talking to the gal that I was telling you at the beginning that I was working with, and I asked her today, I said, so what do you wish you would have known after you did the refresh that you didn't know before you did the refresh? And she said, the fact that I have a family who's not eating that way, and it was really hard for me to be preparing their meal and my meal and looking at what touching, we talked about that, touching all that food and then not being able to eat it. And she said, when I do it again, I will make her son and her fiance's meals ahead of, before we start the refresh. So it's just a matter of just taking it out and zapping it in the microwave or whatever. So I thought that was really good though. So Brenda, when you've done the refresh before, what did you feed your granddaughter? Did she just eat right along with you?
No, she and Sonny were on their own. He's capable of making something for the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just let him do it, and I just did my own thing.
Oh, good. So
she's good about eating some of the vegetables, but she's not so keen on all of them, so I don't make her.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she doesn't want to sit down to a nice big bowl of kale.
I'm not sitting down to a big bowl of kale, so. That goes right along with that stuff you're talking about.
The fiber
sweep.
Yeah, blick. You just gotta suck it down really fast and move on.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. So the other, everybody responds differently to this refresh in how they feel throughout the whole thing. I've talked to people that have said, oh, piece of cake, I didn't feel any different. Other people have said, I was really headachy, or I was sort of headachy, or I felt a little bit lethargic, or the biggie was, I was constipated. I thought this was supposed to clean me out, not plug me up. And I think the water has a lot to do with that. The water that we're drinking. But there have been times, the first time I did the refresh, I didn't feel any different the whole time. The second time I did it, I was kind of headachy the first 2 days, and my joints kind of ached a little bit. But honestly, I think a lot of that is just the detoxing.
Yeah.
So, and that's why. That can be a problem. And as far as the constipation goes, maybe this is TMI, but one of the coaches, her husband, he was constipated for the whole 3 days, and it was on day 4 that the last 3 days unleashed. Once again, it can just affect everybody a little bit differently. So don't be surprised, if, like, Kim, when you did it the first time, were you headachy or joint achy?
Yes. The whole first day, I thought, oh my gosh. And I think it was not having caffeine, to be real honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like that a little bit too. It kind of, my system got started a little late, but I kind of kept going all week long. So if you ask me how much weight I lost in those 3 days, well, in a week, I lost like 6 pounds because it really jump-started my system. So I don't really think of it as being just 3 days. It's like 3 days to get going.
Yeah.
And then I felt like enthusiastic and, boy, look at me. I made it these 3 days and I didn't die. And I found myself, I'm not a vegetable person. So I did the red peppers and hummus, which I kept thinking, I can't believe I'm making this on purpose for my snack.
On
But I
purpose.
really liked it. And I'm like, look at me. So I learned a lot. And I think that if you can just get past that headachy part. Now, I also did the cinnamon in the vanilla mix.
Right.
And in my mind, it tasted like a snickerdoodle.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
my favorite Christmas cookie. So I just swirl and gulp and swirl and gulp. And same with the fiber stuff. I figured a little extra water wouldn't hurt me. And I would just put it in one of those mixer cups with the ball. And I would just swish and gulp and swish and gulp until it was gone. And then I'd rinse the thing and just swish and gulp to get it down as fast as I could. But I figured more water wouldn't hurt. So yeah, that helped.
yeah. What about you, Gail?
It's been a while since I've done it, so I don't really remember.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yes, we are.
I think what I felt mostly was when I've done it is there's two things. One thing was because I always planned all 3 days ahead of time, exactly what I was going to have. So there was no question. So I already wrote it in my book so that I would pack my stuff ahead of time because I take all my stuff to work. But I have everything ready for the very next day. I even have it labeled lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I even put a little sticky note right on top of it so I know exactly what it is, and I prep it all ahead of time. And it's just like, it's so easy. I mean, and even I didn't really feel hungry. That was the weird thing about it. I guess that doesn't seem weird if you've experienced it, but I really didn't get hungry because even having the tea option helped me learn that, even having something as simple as tea can help your craving. It was like, okay, I have tea. That's enough. That's all I need. The one thing that I do notice is I get not just lethargic, but my brain gets fuzzy. So I have to, especially when I'm working, I have to like double and triple check myself. Did I really do that? Because I get forgetful. So I get a little bit, like not really disoriented so much, but a little fuzzy brained.
What about you, Brenda?
I don't recall feeling bad. I think you and I talked about this, that I think my biggest fear was that I was not going to be constipated, but I was going to be running all the time. So that I was like in a little bit of a panic, like, oh my God, I don't have time for this, run into the bathroom all day long. But it didn't happen. So that was like, whew, thank goodness. But I don't remember feeling bad. I know that by the time I got done with it, like Kim said, I felt like, I kept up with the water and I kept up with some of the things I was still doing for the rest of the week. And I think that made the difference, that I didn't just go 3 days, boom, done.
Right.
I just kept it going, and it just made me feel better.
Yeah.
But I forgot to step on the scale at the beginning, so I haven't a clue what I lost.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I wanted to encourage all of us is that on Monday morning, to get on the scale. You don't have to share it with anybody, but just get on the scale and mark down what the number is. And then on morning 4, then turn around and do the same thing again. And you can also, take a measurement around your waist. So, because I know for me that, I usually lose anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds, 3.5, 4 pounds, but I sometimes will lose like 1.5 inches around my waist.
We're starting this December 2nd?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Monday.
I was going to ask, has anybody tried the juice options? There's a little page here next to the healthy fats where you can actually juice. And my question is, I don't know where to even find this information. This is in lieu of the fruit, I guess. Would this be like I don't know, because each one has fruit and vegetables in it and raw ginger. So I don't know if this is like, a snack or.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Because now I have a really amazing blender. I can probably do that.
And I mean, they have like the beet the clock juice has a green apples, raw beets, and celery. I mean, it's also good for you. The beets are a great liver detox, and the celery is a great, just a detox in itself. You know, like a blood detox. So I don't know. I might try the juice option
Yeah.
this time around.
Well, it just says it's optional during the 3-day refresh, but it doesn't say when.
Or if it's replacing something. I might go online and I'll see if I can't clarify that in case anybody else
Okay,
is
that'd be,
wondering.
That'd be good.
that would be good. So yes, we're starting. Good question, Brenda, about when we're starting. We're starting the Monday after Thanksgiving weekend. So that, you know, we're going to have to be very plan oriented. And optimally, I don't know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving. I don't know if you're going anywhere, if you've got people coming over, we're doing both. And so I'm thinking that, you know, maybe on even the Wednesday before, you know, Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, is to make sure that I've got all the supplies that I need to have on hand so that come Monday morning, or if you are going to be home, then just go out on Saturday or go out on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah, but because you don't want to start this not having what you need. So it's going to take a little bit of prep time to go through and look to see, you know, what dinners do you want? What fruit do you want to put in, you know, with your drinks? What veggies do you want for snacks and that sort of thing? So, and then hummus, avocado, you know, your olive oil, if that's the route that you go. So, so I'm excited. Now we're going to do this a little bit different in the group. There will be that Saturday. I got 4 minutes. Okay. That Saturday, thank you, Mary. That Saturday, there will be a pre-prep post, just kind of reminding everybody that we're going to get started, and Sunday, you know, to remind you once again. And so for these 3 days, when you go into Fit Life Studio, there is not going to be a lesson for the 100 Days of Brave. We're going to put that over to the side for those 3 days so that we can concentrate just on doing this 3-day refresh. And there will be only one post, and it will go up early in the morning, like the ones have been already, but that will also be where you recap. We're not going to do a regular recap page. So there will be 3.
One post a day, huh?
Yeah, one post a day, and you can go in anytime and, you know, answer there's 3 questions that you will have for each day. And so you can just go in anytime. And then on the 4th day, then we'll do a celebration, something, you know. So.
We survived.
We survived.
Survived.
We did survive, and we will survive. So how many of you have your 3-day refresh kit already?
Me.
Okay. So Kim, I would really encourage you to get that ordered. Last year,
They ran out.
They ran out. Yes, I mean, they had no idea. So I would go ahead and get it ordered as soon as possible. So, and you can talk with Mary. Are you drinking, do you do the 30 days of Shakeology?
I have Shakeology, yeah.
Okay, good. So do you have another batch coming pretty soon? Or
I have a surplus.
okay.
I have envelopes of it. If I travel, I have a bulk bag that I use.
Okay.
And I got lots.
Okay. So because there's 3 different ways that you can order it. You can order it as a challenge pack with the Shakeology, which you don't need. You can order it. They give you 3 packets of the Shakeology along with the vanilla refresh. And that's one price. That is, are you Coach?
No.
Okay, so if you bought it, that would be $69.55. But if you buy it without the Shakeology, because you've got plenty of Shakeology, then it's $55.95.
Yeah.
So I would buy it without the Shakeology.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we got about 2 minutes.
okay, so I think, do you guys have any questions? Has this been helpful?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm excited that we're going to do it as a group.
It'll be fun.
Be fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
Everything's more fun when we're together.
That's right.
Well, you know, so as things come up, you know, like I felt really headachy today. You know, somebody else might say, well, I did too. You know, well, how much water did you drink? So I mean, we can help each other, you know, go
Yeah.
through the 3 days.
Mhm.
It's not like, you know, like Laura
And I fell asleep at my desk on Wednesday. You're going to hear me go clunk.
Oh, golly. So we're going to run out of time, but Kim and Gail and Brenda, we're going to put your name in a hat. We're going to have a little raffle drawing because you guys showed up. So I'm super
Oh,
excited.
thank you.
So,
Yay.
yeah. So anyway, this is going to be great. And like I said, we're going to put 100 Day to Brave on the table for those 3 days. So
Are you going to announce that, Jamie? Just so people
She
know
can do that
that.
when she puts this post up for the
Yeah.
video. She can say that.
yeah.
Okay.
What do we win? Fiber sweep?
A year's supply, Brenda.
You can drink at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
There you go.
All
Really
right.
cleaned up, that's
All
for
right,
sure.
ladies.
Well, it's been great, and just stay tuned. I mean, you guys are so faithful in our page, and you know there will be more information coming, so there won't be any
Okay.
Good
surprises.
to see you
Thanks a
guys.
bunch.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Aloha.